4 weeks to go to London Marathon. Yes, it's getting oh so real now. How is your training going? In this video, I'm going to go through the training not being completed in the past week, and also how I use parkruns and some events coming up like the Worcester City Half Marathon, how I use those events to finely tune what my race day strategy pacing will be, because now I'm beginning to get a feel of what my race day fitness should be. Without further ado, let's go. Enjoy. Oh yes guys, 4 weeks to go. All roads lead to Rome, so the saying goes, but this particular road, or in this particular road, will lead to London eventually. Now I'm recording this on Saturday the 3rd of September. By the time you get to see this on Sunday the 4th of September, it'll be race day here in Worcester City Half Marathon, and this is the actual route behind me here. So I'll be going through, as I mentioned, stick towards the end, how I'll use that race day event and the timing, and how I will use that information to help me prepare for what my race day pacing will be. Now with 4 weeks to go, yes, we are getting into the nitty-gritty now. This is the final stretch as I see it for me. Like if we're doing multiple laps of a track, 400 meters, this is like the last 400 meters. And I even have plotted out here the 4 weeks, you know, from Sunday all the way through to race day. Sorry, from Monday of next week, yes, which will, maybe you see this on the Monday as well. So from the Monday all the way through, week by week. So there's only literally, for me, in terms of my training, it is literally just one crunch weekend of one last more big long run. I'm not going to be doing a long run this weekend. I'm going to use the some warm-ups and stuff and use the half marathon, and I'll give more details how I'm using the half marathoners to determine my strategy. But the training last week, you may have seen, if you are following some of my shorts, I've now started publishing YouTube shorts, which is basically some short daily videos of what my training is and what I do each morning as part of those trainings. So there's been 2 key workouts. Most of it has all been, I've ran all 7 days. They've all been like easy jiggy jogs, but 2 have been sessions where I've done the 1k reps, and then I also done 75 seconds short reps, intervals, whatever you want to call them. I don't really know on all the buzzwords on those, but anyway, you know, short, fast, sharp bursts as I call them. So the 1k reps and also the 75-second ones. The 75-second ones, it's proper burn, but I do love those because I can really get some speed in. So that's been my training week this week. An easy jiggy jog this morning, and as I say, tomorrow, or when you see this today, will be the Worcester City Half Marathon. And also this morning I was volunteering at parkrun, which was fantastic, so I do love that. But yeah, you probably want to know, how do I use, because we're now getting into crunch time, how do I use these parkruns, race days, to determine what my pace will be, could be, should be on the day? Because it's always determined on the day what I'm going to be doing, not just weeks before, certainly not months before, because we don't know what our level of fitness will be. Makes sense? As a brief midway interlude, Worcester Cathedral, the bells are ringing. I don't know about you, but I love the sound of bells. It's nice, pleasant, relaxing, you know, whether you be a Christian or not. There's something about bells, bell ringing, church bells, whatever, it just makes me feel good. But that's my brief interlude. Let's crack on with how I use the park runs and races as straight race day strategy timings. Yes, park runs, timed events. Now you may have seen last Saturday I did do my first park run where I came in at a time of 19 minutes and 32 seconds. Now that was basically just running on feel, not looking at my watch or paces or anything like that, and just going for it. I wasn't all out, but certainly going for it. And from that, there's all sorts of race predictors where you can key in a particular time, and it will give you a projection of how you would do in a 10k or a half marathon. V.Dot O2 is one of those websites that I use, Jack Daniels, and in that it sort of predicts what time it should be coming in. Now, based on that parkrun time, I should be able to do a sub 90-minute half marathon tomorrow, but there's lots of determining factors, especially for me in terms of the recovery from surgery. I don't know whether I could manage a particular pace and continue that. I will run the half marathon on pace, but you want to know how I use those strategies and how I can work that. But those times it does extrapolate also to marathon pace. Now, I know for a lot of you guys, if you've got watches, I always say run on feel, but if you do need to fall back on the watches, you can use the paces to help determine that you're not going too fast or too slow. Yeah, and that in itself can be worth a weight in gold. And when we talk about weights of gold, yes, every little nugget here can help in some way. Don't take it as gospel, but take it as what I particularly do. Now, whilst I do run on feel, and I always stress that as a beginner, first marathon, the idea is just to complete it. It's not about competition or going for a particular time. The help here is more if you're going for a particular time, maybe you've got some experience of what you want to do. But using those Jack Daniel websites, and I'll put a link in the description where you can put predictor times and so on based on your parkrun time, half marathon time. So I'm going to go tomorrow and do my half marathon on feel and maybe push it, but I really need to know, because obviously with the surgery I don't want to push too hard and break myself, not just in terms of muscles but the innards as well. So that aside, if all things being equal, the time that I finish that half should help determine closely what I could do my marathon time. But the key thing, as I always say, is run on feel. And the first stages of marathon, it's always conversational. In fact, I would say it should be conversational up to mile 20, you know, and then maybe look to start pushing. Make sense? So hopefully this has helped in some way. I'd love to hear in your comments below of what you feel, what you think you're going to be doing. And if you've got any questions or concerns as you're coming up to, maybe this is your first London Marathon or it's your first marathon as a whole. But speaking to some of the guys this morning at the parkrun, it's not their first marathon, but it's their multiple marathon, but it's their first London, first big city marathon. And sometimes we can get caught up in all the excitement and joy and cheers, and we go off way too fast at the start, way too fast. That's the most common mistake that people do. How do you hold back? And basically there's no $1 million answer. That's the $1 million question, but no $1 million answer. But hopefully in terms of the predictor times, and that can help you. And maybe you can use that watch if you need some form of reliance and can't run on feel, that it help you to work that way. But hopefully those tips have helped. You will be seeing the vlog of the half marathon, which I'll be filming tomorrow, and that'll be coming out later in the week. I'm sure you're all looking forward to that, and I'm certainly looking forward, because this will be my first half marathon since surgery, first half marathon since the Birmingham Black Country half marathon, where I literally completed it in a time of 1 hour 29 and 59 seconds. Yes, how sub 90 minutes can you get? And so that's what my target is for tomorrow, to get under sub 90, to see if my fitness is back to where it was pre-surgery. Whether it gets back up to what it was pre-Manchester Marathon, where I was really super fit then, and you may recall I ran a 1:23 Cambridge half marathon, which was incredible. I mean, I felt absolutely blistering. But who knows what happened tomorrow? I don't know. It's all about feel. This stretch here now will be the last mile of the half marathon where I'm going along. And who knows, if the bells are playing in the cathedral, I don't know what time the bells start kicking off on the Sunday, but the race starts at 9:30, so who knows whether the bells are ringing as I'm coming along here and boost me along for that last final mile, because a lot can happen in these distances. A lot can happen in a 5k, but in particular 10k half marathon and 1000% marathon. That's why getting the right pace at the start is essential. And tomorrow, my strategy, pretty straightforward, as I've done in other previous ones. is I'll be going easy for the first 3 to 5k, not super easy, but certainly not at race pace, and then depending on how I feel, I'll pick that up and then go with it, and if it feels good, I'll keep going. If not, I gotta taper it back down, as I did at the Tewkesbury Half. Yeah, because sometimes things won't feel good and you just got to go with it rather than continue and try and push through that. I don't do it that way, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Loved you watching this. Thank you so much for staying to the very end and watching all of this, and I love you all, and I'll see you at the Worcester City Half Marathon vlog very soon.